Hello! Let's start with a look at some occupations before having a gentle meander through general Bible trivia. 20 questions. Let's begin. Question 1. Who was a mighty hunter before the Lord? Was that Nimrod, Gideon, Goliath, or David? And that was Nimrod in Genesis chapter 10. Question 2. Who was forger of all instruments of bronze and iron? Was that Jesus, Tubal-Cain, Abraham, or Jacob? And that was Tubal-Cain in Genesis chapter 4. Question 3. What was Luke's profession? Was he a physician or a doctor? A lawyer? A tax collector? Or a tent maker? And Luke was a physician, as referenced in Colossians chapter 4. Question 4. What was Paul's profession? Was he a blacksmith, a tent maker, a physician, or a lawyer? And he was a tent maker, assumed in Acts chapter 18. Question 5. What was the occupation of Joseph, the earthly father who adopted Jesus? Was he a farmer, a blacksmith, a carpenter, or a fisherman? And Jesus wasn't quite a chip off the old block of Joseph, but Joseph was a carpenter. In Matthew chapter 13. Question 6. What was Nehemiah's occupation? Was he a cupbearer, a priest, a soldier, or a smithy? Nehemiah was a cupbearer, as revealed in Nehemiah chapter 1. Question 7. What was the occupation of Alexander, who did much evil to Paul? Was he a tent maker, a coppersmith, a lawyer, or a mason? And Alexander was a coppersmith, as told in 2 Timothy chapter 4. Question 8. What was the occupation of David under Saul? Was he a cupbearer, an armor-bearer, a musician, or a carpenter? David was an armor-bearer. You'll find that in 1 Samuel chapter 16. Question 9. Philip was sent to speak to an Ethiopian eunuch who held what position in the court of Candace, Queen of Ethiopia? Was he a cupbearer, a scribe, an astrologer, or a treasurer? And Acts chapter 8 tells us he was a treasurer. And now some questions without any multiple choices. I'm sure you'll be fine. Question 10. Who did Jesus teach the Lord's Prayer to? Jesus taught his disciples how to pray. Question 11. In which town did Jesus grow up? Born in Bethlehem, but grew up in Nazareth. Question 12. Paul was shipwrecked on which island? And Paul ran onto Malta. Question 13. In which New Testament book does Jesus say, "I and my Father are one"? and that's the book of John. Question 14. Which New Testament book gives the most accounts of Jesus' miracles? And the answer is the Gospel according to Mark. Question 15. Who went on missionary journeys to preach to the Gentiles? And that was Paul. Question 16. How did Paul make his way out of Damascus? And Paul escaped in a basket. Question 17. Who came to Jesus by night? And afraid of the repercussions, that was Nicodemus. Question 18. Who said, "He is not here, for he is risen"? And that was an angel. Question 19. Which New Testament book covers the story of Jesus' ascension into heaven? You'll find that description in the Acts of the Apostles. And question 20. Who was the Jerusalem priest who put Jesus on trial? And the one with that responsibility was Caiaphas. So, how did you enjoy that one? Let me know in the comments below. But until next time, goodbye and God bless.